All right, I'm trying to see if we're live. I think it works, so I think that we're on and we're live. My name is Liz Evans, and I am from the Eagle Mountain Art Alliance, and today we are going to do an oldie but a goodie. We're going to show you how to draw a chomp fish. So I taught art for a long time at schools and community things, and this is a oldie but a goodie, one that kids always like, and it's super easy to do. I call it the chomp fish, and it's been around forever. So you draw a picture of a beautiful fish, and it looks like he's nice and he's good, but all of a sudden, when you're not looking, it chomps off your face. So we're going to show you how today, with your kids, to draw a chomp fish. Looks seemingly nice and good. Like I said, when he's not looking, turns around, chomps your face. So we're gonna make some chomp fishes today. They're super fun. We were actually making them last night. We'd started playing a game, and then I was messing around with a piece of paper, and before I know it, everybody in my family was making chomp fishes. So here's one of my chomp fishes. This is the chomp fish from my 11-year-old that she made last night while we were playing a game. She said her chomp fish looks like it's kind of mad, and then someone kept messing with it, and it went berserko. So there's that chomp fish. And then this is a chomp fish that my 8-year-old made that looked like it was happy and nice, but all of a sudden it got super mad and chomp fish. So I'm going to show you how to make chomp fishes right now. You don't need to have, this is a big giant piece of paper that I made my chomp fish on. So it's like one of those long kind for like extra drama. But if you don't have a big piece of paper, you can just use a piece of like printer copy paper, and that's what I drew. This is mine from last night. This is what started the whole chomping fish. So you can just use a copy piece of paper, which is what I'm going to use today. And then at the end, if fish is not your thing, I'll show you a few other examples of other things that we made chomping last night. So I'm going to move those out of the way, and I'm going to start with my piece of copy paper. So this is just a plain old piece of copy paper, and I'm going to take and I'm going to fold it in half hamburger way. So this is hamburger way, this is hot dog way. We're going to fold it in half hamburger way. So I'm going to put it down here on the table and just fold it in half hamburger way. So I've got my copy paper, and all I did was take it and folded it down hamburger way. Now I'm going to fold it. I'm going to take this piece from the top that I folded over, and I'm just going to fold it in half up. Okay, so I'm just folding it up. I want to just show you in the air before I do it down on the piece of paper. So this is what's going to make our chomp fish chomp. That's what's going to be able to open it up and make our chomp fish chomp. So I've got my paper, and the top part that I folded down, I'm going to just take it right back to the top. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. This is the hardest part of the whole chomp fish. This is how to make it be chompy. So we've got our paper. We took it, we folded it in half. Once we got it in half, we took that bottom piece and folded it back over on top of itself. And that's what's gonna make it be chomp, chomp, chomp. Okay, now that we're ready to chomp, let's start drawing. Now, always, 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 I tell all of my kids when they're drawing, start with a pencil. Today, I'm not going to use a pencil because you're not going to be able to see the lines as well. So I think I'm debating Sharpie or crayon. I think maybe I'll just use a regular old crayon today to draw my chomp fish with. For you, I would suggest using a pencil. Anyone use a pencil because you can always erase, but today I'm going to use the crayon so you can see what I'm drawing just a little bit better. So here's again our example of our chomp fish. We're going to make our blank piece of paper look like this guy. So we're going to start with the happy fish, and then we'll get to the chomp in here in just a minute. So to make our fish, if you look at him, you can see he's super easy shape. We're going to do a half circle, kind of like maybe a half oval on the top, and a half oval on the bottom. So I'm going to do that on my paper really quick. The folded side is going to be the top of your fish, and the flat side is going to be the bottom part of your fish. So I'm going to draw me a half circle, and I want to make it pretty big, and I will stop so you can see what I'm doing. I've got me a half circle right here on the top, maybe like a half of an eyeball, if you want to think of it like that. And I'm going to do a half circle on the bottom down here. It's more like a half of an oval. I keep calling it a half circle, but it's more like half of an oval. So we've got the top and the bottom. So we've got the top part of our fish and the bottom part of our fish. Right now it could be an eyeball. That could be something scary in the future. But we're just gonna make it be our fish. Now let's draw our tail. The tail is gonna be easy. We're just going to, I'm gonna connect this bottom part here and I'm gonna swoop up and I'm gonna swoop down. So I'll show you a little swoop up. Swoop up. Now I'm going to swoop down. Swoop down. Oh, I swooped so hard I busted my crayon. And swoop down. So I got a swoop up and a swoop down. Okay, so you can kind of see already it's already turning into a fish. Easiest project ever. Now let's connect that fish tail. We're just going to connect it however you want. Mine, this one, I just kind of made it come in and then go back out. Easy peasy. Or if you want to get fancy with it and make it a little bit more wavy, that's up to you. But all we basically have to do is connect these lines, and even if you just wanted to make a straight line, whoop, it doesn't matter. So let's connect this guy. All right, I connected mine. So now I've got my fish silhouette and I've got a fish tail. Now let's give him some fish lips. So I'm gonna give him some nice, luscious fish lips. I'm looking over here. See if I have a crayon I haven't busted down. Let's see. I get a little too aggressive when I draw. Get a little too excited. Ah, here's one I haven't busted down. Okay. Let's draw some fish lips. So these fish lips, if you look at them this way, they kind of look like a heart. So if it's easier for you to think you're going to draw them a heart, the top lip is going to go on the folded side and the bottom lip is going to go on the flat side. So I'm going to draw right here, I'm going to draw my fish lips. So the first one, I'm just going to make a line right on that fold, on the top side of the fold and on the bottom side of the fold. So I just made a line right there on the top side and the bottom side. That's how long I want these guys' lips to be. And then I'm going to make my fish lips like a little heart right here. I'm coloring mine in a little bit because I don't have a pencil. I'm using a crayon instead of a pencil, so I can't really erase. So I'm just kind of coloring my lips in so you can see them. Got my fish lips, fish body, fish tail. All right. Now, let's do some eyeballs. Super easy. I like to make my eyeballs on my chomp fish really big because then he looks like he's nice and he's unassuming. You don't know that he's going to chomp you. So we're going to make some really big, super nice, super friendly fish eyeballs. So we're going to start, we're going to make one big circle right behind the lips. One big circle right behind the lips. Very nice. Now I'm going to make, that's the outside circle. Now we're going to make this inside, where we're going to color it in all dark. We're going to make another circle. And I like to make it nice and big. Big round eyes make everything look nice and friendly and happy. So I've got my eyeball. Now let's give it the little white part of the eye. And wherever you put that white part is kind of the direction that your fish is looking. So I'm going to have my fish. I'm just going to kind of put my eyeball so he's either looking straight ahead or maybe he's like looking out at you. So let's see. I'm going to do mine farther back. So he's kind of looking at you like, what's up, dude? And then you can take and you can color in that black part of the eye. I'm coloring my black part of the eyeball all the way in. That's what makes them come alive, is when you've got the black part all colored in. Shaking the camera a little bit. So sometimes I draw a little too aggressively. Get that all the way colored in. Okay, we have one more step before we are going to turn our nice fish into the chomp fish. We need to put the little fin on the top of his head, his little fishy mohawk. So let's add a fishy mohawk. There is no right or wrong way to do this. I make mine thinner at the top, bigger towards the back, and all it's gonna be is a wavy line. There's no right or wrong way. You're just gonna start above the eye and we're gonna make a wavy line. So I'm gonna start right above the eye, wavy line, down to his little fish bum. And now we've got our fish's mohawk. Sweet. Okay, now we are going to open him up. And this is the part where some people are like, oh no, what have we done wrong? You've done nothing wrong. So we're gonna have all this blank space in between. This is the part where now we gotta fill in all of our chompiness. So what I like to start with is let's get him fixed up back here on his back end. Let's connect that tail. All you've gotta do is draw a line that's gonna connect from the top to the bottom. And if you want to make it pretty straight, just kind of maybe make it go in like a fishtail does, you can do that. Or if you want to be crazy and just make it wavy, you can do that as well. So we are going to just connect that top to the bottom. And I just made a wavy line because that's the easiest. So his back end taken care of. Now let's take care of this front end right here because we've just got like this big open space. So we've got the back side of his lips right here, and we are going to draw like a half circle that just connects them. Just a curved line that connects that top lip down to the bottom lip. So let's get those connected from the top lip to the bottom lip. Now I could be singing, oh! So you could stop right here. You could decide he might not want to be a chomp fish. Maybe he's scared and you could give him scared eyes, but I'm still gonna go with chomp fish and make him freaky deaky. So next move is, let's add some of those teeth in there. I love big, scary, crazy teeth. They don't have to make any sense at all. So I'm just gonna make big, long triangles. I usually make the front one pretty long, the longest guy. Uh-oh, and I made mine so big, I only had room for 2, which is fine. So I just drew 2 big, long triangles down the top. Now I'm gonna draw 2 big, long triangles up from the bottom. Ooh, nice. Those were extra big. I got my 2 big chompers. Now this is where you decide what you're going to do with your fish as far as decoration goes. Is he gonna be striped? Is he gonna be polka dotted? Is he gonna be plaid? This is where you're gonna put all of your decorations. So when it's time for me to decorate, I always just fold my fish back in half a little bit and think, what do I want my fish to look like? Is he sweet? Does he have stripes? Does he have polka dots? Does he have flowers? I don't know what kind of fish he is. This guy, I'm gonna show you how to do some stripes. Because sometimes when you're little, if like your kids are doing this, stripes can sometimes mess you up. You're like, how do I make these stripes? So the first thing I do is on my little fishy bum bum, I'm gonna connect the top to the bottom. And that is gonna put a little defining line between the tail and his body. You see we've got that? So now I'm gonna open him back up and I'm gonna connect that to that. So his tail will be separate from his body. So I'm just gonna make a little line and I'm gonna connect those 2 lines together. Kabam! Oh, very nice. Now his tail is separated from his body. And I think his tail, I like to have my tail stripes going horizontally. Okay, so the same way as the paper, just back and forth, like a landscape, horizontally. So I'm gonna start making me some stripes on his tail. And I'm gonna make them all the way down. Stripes, 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 stripes. Now he's got stripes on his tail. And I like to do sometimes a little bit of stripes on his mohawk. You can see I do that. I did that on both of them. Some little mohawk stripes. I made some little tiny mohawk stripes on this one. I made some bigger mohawk stripes on that one. So I'm gonna give him some little stripes on his mohawk. Make him be cool, dude. Some little mohawk stripes. Now, if you want to leave him just like this, that's totally fine. You don't have to go any farther. You can just color him in. Or if you want to do some body stripes or some polka dots, this is a great place too. Again, I like to do stripes on all mine. So my chompy fish is going to have some stripes that go horizontally, you know, up and down across his body. So his tail had some verticals and his body's going to have some horizontals. But they're going to have to go all the way down his whole body. So the way that I think is the easiest to do it is to keep my fish folded in half. So he's the innocent fish, and I'm going to make me some stripes that go from the top down to the bottom. I'm not going to make too many because I don't want him to get too fussy looking. So there's one stripe I made, and I'll hold this up here in 1 second so you can see 2 stripes and one more. I just gave him 3 little stripes from the top down to the bottom. Now it's easy when you open him back up again. We're going to do what we've done before, and we're just going to connect the lines. This line to this line to this line, and that line to that line. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let's just get them connected with my trusty crayon. And all the way down. And all the way down. So now when you open him up, he's going to be all the way connected. Nice fish. Chomper fish. Super, super easy. This is the oldest, I don't know, art trick up my sleeve. I've done this with classes all over the place. I've done it with elementary school kids, preschool kids. We even did a group with high school kids that was hilarious. The stuff that they made their stuff chomping. They did all sorts of different animals. So fish are the easiest because this was super duper easy for us to make, the fish shape. Super easy, super funny. And then once you're all done, I like to trace mine with either a black crayon, an outline, because at the beginning I said it's the best to draw with a pencil. So once you've got all your pencil lines exactly how you want it, trace it with a black crayon, or if you've got one, Sharpies are my favorite. I trace everything with Sharpies. Trace it with a Sharpie and then color it in just like you would a coloring page. Once you've got the color, that makes it all so much more exciting. I mean, he's fun. The guy we just drew is fine. But once you add the color in with them, they're so much more fun and they're so much more vibrant. My kids like to make them and then they have stories to tell with them about what made them mad or what they're chomping. So I'm going to put these aside and I'll show you. So last night when we were doing these, you don't have to just make fish. Like I was saying, you can make a whole bunch of different things. Last night, I made a little chicken, and I made him from the front. So he's just a happy little chicken, and I made him just with some crayons and a Sharpie. He's just doing his own thing, but all of a sudden, don, 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 vampire chicken. So he's nice, but don't turn your back, because he's a vampire chicken. My kids were like, what in the world? That's crazy. So we did vampire chicken. I showed you the other examples of fish that my kids made. And then one of them made this. Actually, we were laughing. It was my husband because he's like, why does it have to be animals? He made a chomp house, if that's such a thing. But his house is just a house, and then when you open it up, it has all of the rooms inside it. So you can chomp anything that you want. It's just like a fun way to draw a picture and then be able to open it up and see what's inside. So you can do fish. You can do vampire chickens. You can do cows. Cows are super easy. Frogs are super easy. Pick an animal and you can chomp it. I love it. It's super fun, super easy. We will come back again next Friday, maybe even Tuesday, depending on how things go, with some more easy peasy art projects that you can do with just some copy paper and some crayons at your house. And we will see you then. Thanks. Bye-bye.